Hello, Garage Tune people. It has been many years since I've made a video. As it often happens, life gets in the way. Family, work, stuff to do around the house. Sucks up all your time, and it's hard to find the energy to work on the projects you want to work on. A brief recap: the LS400, gone. The 510, in the garage, still have it, needs to be worked on. I got rid of the LS400 because I have a friend that I've had for a long time, named Bianca. You've seen her on some of our videos. And her first car was a red 240SX. She got it when she was 16. She would come to the Vegas car meets. We would hang out. Just an awesome person. Awesome human being. And we became friends. We hung out a lot. And I told her, hey, if you ever decide to sell that car for whatever reason, please give me first dibs so we can keep it in the family. A couple years went by, 5, 6 years went by. I moved out of Vegas. She had a child. And in doing so, she started driving her STI more and more. Makes more sense, right? Put a crash in the back. One day she called me up. The snowmobile's outside. One day she called me up and said, Phil, I think it's time. I'm going to sell the 240. And I said, great. I'll be down there this weekend. I will get it running, make sure I can get on a truck. I'll have it shipped out back to Minnesota. So I did. I flew from Minnesota to Vegas, gave it a little tune-up, went to a Yantera down there and got 4 fresh used tires, but they held air. Brought it back to her house. A couple days later, a truck picked it up, delivered it to me here in Minnesota. Unfortunately, it was the fall, if I recall correctly, or the spring, one of the two. But either way, not a good time to keep it outside. I really wasn't in love with the LS400, so I got rid of it and brought the 240 in. It has been sitting in my garage for about 4 years now, maybe 5. I feel like garbage every time I look at it because I feel like I'm doing her and the car a disservice by not showing it the love that it needs. So I've been trying to get to work on it lately. That and a couple other reasons that I'll tell you about. So I had 2 SR20s in here. I pulled out the KA that wasn't running very well, put in S15 SR20. I didn't love it, just didn't feel right. Pulled it out. Put in the S14 SR20. Didn't love it, didn't feel right. Pulled it out. I thought and was disheartened a bit until finally I thought, well, why don't I do a LS? You know, everybody's doing it. They are easy to find. They're not cheap. I don't care what anybody says, they're not cheap. But after thinking about it for quite a bit longer and chatting with B, decided that that's what feels right for the car. So I picked up an LS, right there, 5.3, aluminum block, and I'm going to throw that in. While I work on that, I am working on converting from 4-lug to 5-lug, working on suspension, working on new wheels and tires, getting all that situated. Now, it is currently February in Minnesota. It's 7 degrees outside, which is actually pretty warm. I've got the heater going in the garage. I've got the front suspension mostly done. Let me flip you around and show you. All right. So, I went with Tane street coils. This is going to be a street car. It's not a race car. I'm not going to race the thing. I'm not going to drift it, really. So I just want something that's a little bit sportier that allows me to lower it. If you know anything about Tane or Japanese performance companies, Tane's been around for 30 years, give or take. Maybe longer, actually. And just a fantastic brand. It's not going to get me as low as something like PBMs. These are as low as it goes, but they're low enough for what I want to do. I cannot remember what I went with for all my links down here. I bought them right after I got the car. It sat here. No idea what I went with for those. I did go with the ISR 5-lug conversions. They seem reasonable in quality. I've got to finish torquing everything down and getting it to where I want to get it. As far as brakes go, I'm going Q45s in the fronts. So as you can see the difference, Q45, slotted drilled, stock 240. You can see these are just absolute monsters compared to the stock. Additionally, if we compare the calipers, bring this guy over here. Shouldn't be holding it like this. Okay, so we have stock caliper, Q45 caliper, substantially larger. So that's all pretty well good to go. I'm going to try and finish getting the calipers on today. Maybe get everything torqued down today or tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Now, another question that I've got is wheels. I've got a full set of VSKFs, 18-inch, 9.5 in the front, 10.5 in the rear. I've also got a set of square G6s that I bought for this car. 17s, 9.5 all around. They both fit about the same. Obviously, the VSKFs are the super cool Japanese brand, and I love them. They are my top choice. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with the squares. If I go with the VSKFs, I'm probably going to take the center off and have it powder-coated gold to kind of contrast the red. So, that's where I'm at today. I've got a whole mess of bodywork to do. I've got to get the engine in place. I need to get this thing at the very least rolling with the engine, ideally driving by April, maybe early May, because at that point, a team is coming to tear down this garage, and I am building a new one, twice the size. 3-bay, 12-foot ceilings, lift in one side. I'm pretty excited for it. But the car can't just sit here. So ideally, I'll be able to drive it out when the time comes. At the very least, push it out with the engine. I just don't want to do that. So anyway, one more little detail. The reason I really want to get this thing done here soon is because I have been waiting since 1999 when I learned about R34s and S15s on the internet and the Japanese sites that we all used to follow back in the day, the forums. I've been waiting for 25 years for them to become legal in the US. And in 2024, I can finally bring them over. I recently imported an FD from Japan, 1996. I purchased R34 Skyline. It's waiting in Japan for me. It'll be legal in April of 24. And I am currently working on purchasing an S15. So I want to make sure this guy and the FD are done this calendar year, so that when 2024 comes around, April, I can bring the S15 and the R34 over and start working on those. So I've got motivation, kind of. Maybe you guys can help me. I've got a reason to work on it. I am excited to finally get those cars that I've been waiting for the better part of my life. Better part? No, but a good chunk of my life. So please stick around, help motivate me, give me advice. I'm a little out of touch. And just hang out. I'm hoping that all of this work, plus some other things that I've got planned, can in the future lead to a JDM tuner car museum that I would like to start here in Minnesota, where we'll have, you know, all the classic 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s Japanese tuner cars. Not just drift stuff, but everything. I love those cars so much. They shaped so much of who I am. They've made me so many friends. Just the passion for them, the shared passion for that kind of stuff. And I see them dying every day here, getting sent to the crushers. So I'd love to set up a museum where I can buy these cars, restore them, let people come look at them, maybe give rides. as well as find cars that are in scrap yards or about to go to scrap yards, bring them back here, and bring them back to life to try and keep these cars that we all love so much alive. So help me out, please. Help keep me motivated. And I will hopefully see you guys in the next one.